guys, what's up? It's Dan Weinberger here, CEO of Morpheus Network, here with another AMA. Right now, when I'm doing this video, it is May 2021. I have an awesome list of questions in front of me over here. Super excited when I have such a great list of questions. Reason being is that obviously the community is paying tons of attention. I don't know exactly who asked all these different questions, but a little bit different some of the questions this time around. Some of them are repetitive, so it could be new people asking the same questions, but I'll get through this and hopefully we get through all of these. I really don't know how long this video is going to be because it seems like a long list, but we'll see how it goes. So without further ado, let's get to the questions, guys. So can Dan and Noam do another interview with Vignesh Iyer containing status update of the sidechain architecture and layer technology? Give us an example. Yeah, most definitely. Vignesh is an awesome guy, obviously. Working with him for a few years now. He just recently had a brand new baby. So if you do, contact Vignesh, definitely wish him congratulations on that. Definitely could do a video talking more about the technical aspects of the sidechain technology. Once again, I could explain what that is exactly. It's basically leveraging as a sidechain these various blockchains that are available. So whether it's IPFS, for example, which obviously is amazing for data storage, or if it's Stellar for a payment, sending payments across the world, whatever it would be, the functionality of those blockchains we can take advantage of through our middleware. We've designed the platform itself so it's blockchain agnostic. We've done integrations with a ton of different blockchains. Having them as the back end of that notarization system, whether it's hashing on EOS or pulling data from like a Hyperledger permission-based system, or as I mentioned, leveraging those specific blockchain advantages, whether it's processing speed or international payment, asset transfer, or if it's data storage, as I mentioned with IPFS, for example, as well. So it's connecting through our middleware all these different functionalities. And what's great about that is that the companies we deal with, they're all using legacy systems they've used for a long time, whether it's years, decades, multiple decades, of course. So it's being able to use the middleware to leverage those legacy systems as well as these emerging technologies. This great, blockchains, technologies that are being refined as we speak. Being able to allow companies to continue using their current systems and still leverage these brand new technologies, emerging technologies, blockchain included, obviously, bringing in IoT and all these other techs as well that, can be run through our middleware. Thank you for that question. And yes, Vignesh will be available sometime. We'll do that. We'll most definitely do that. They're always great videos. So, all right, next question. Amazing. Always great to see AMAs. Really curious when MRPH will hit a new exchange. Extremely promising project. Now, I will tell you, some of you know, most of you know this, I think, that when it comes to new exchanges, it is really up to the exchange when we're allowed to go, public with any sort of announcement or anything like that. Right now, we're listed on some great places, on Uniswap, on Bittrex as well. But I will say that we are very close with a rather large centralized exchange, an exchange that I've read in the Telegram channel quite a bit, has been mentioned. Can't make any specifics. I'll leave it at that. But yes, really working hard on that as well. So, hi team, great to have an AMA. Great, for me too. A question from Telegram: is it projected revenue of $6 million in a year still on track? We're closing in on a few paid contracts. Coming out of COVID for these companies, it's a little bit expected, I guess you can say, that fulfilling these contracts and paying them up front. Some of them have been able to do that and to hit our projections, have been right on track. With those companies, we're a little behind our OKR projection of $6 million for end of year this year, but that doesn't mean it's not attainable to maintain our OKR track for next year and so on and so forth. The clients that we're lining up right now through our channel partners, through our multipliers, our various partners, different stages of our sales funnels as well. There's some amazing contracts coming down the pipeline through the superstars on our team. We have new partnerships as well at different places in the world. So these, OKR, goals that we've set for ourselves, whether it's, how many, let's say how much revenue we're going to make in a year or how many clients we're going to have in a year. These are definitely goals that we're maintaining and keeping the exact same as time goes on. I'm obviously over the top excited about the base that we're building with the company right now. Partnerships in different places in the world. We're working with government agencies and in multiple countries as well. Obviously our partnership with the phytosanitary certificates in Argentina. So much great stuff on the go. I'm sure I'll talk about a little bit more during the AMA as well. So, okay, liquidity. What are the MRPH team planning to do regarding liquidity? It's a clear barrier to entry limitation. Yeah, once again, we're working on that most definitely. We mentioned that, the exchange, that we're very close with a centralized exchange as well. And obviously when it comes to, announcing these things, keep a close eye on our Medium channel. Things will, when they do happen, we do announce them most definitely when we're able to. So, all right, masternodes. Is there a time frame for masternodes? SEC is often cited as reason for not happening. Yes, listen, right now, all our sort of discussions with businesses and the platform, getting companies onboarded, getting the benefits of the platform, super clear for these companies, is all to do with pushing transactions to the platform. The more transactions, the more functionality that we require for all these different clients, the more volume we're pushing through the platform as well, the more necessity, for the utility token, which is the back end, the gas, which pushes ahead all these transactions, allows the automation to happen, allows the notarization on the mainnet to happen as well. So that is the basis of all our sort of day-to-day transactions, day-to-day business, is to push ahead adoption of the platform, which will in turn, we have these different solutions in place, as we've discussed many times, such as masternodes for these different side chains, obviously to alleviate extra fees when it comes to notarization as well. We have so many different solutions which are involved specifically with masternodes. So keep an eye on when those are released. And we, absolutely critical that the utility token is a part of the platform, and we have different solutions to make sure that's available. And masternodes and these different utility, programs we have in place are definitely all a part of that. So thank you for that question as well. One thing I will tell you, these new integrations that we're, putting in place, very exciting. One of them is a one-click solution for an entire industry. It's a partnership, one of the largest providers in this industry that there ever were. Very excited about that. Give us some time to announce at the proper time. We're going to do a PR for all that stuff as well. So partnerships, any confirmation with partnerships, news and NDAs will expire. Listen, when it comes to partnerships and anything we can announce, obviously we're very excited about the partners we currently have. We're very excited about the projects we're working on that are under NDA right now. And when we're allowed to announce the biggest partnerships and everything that we're doing based on NDAs or whatever it is, I will be the first person to sing it from the rooftop. So we would never keep these sort of announcements and deals that we're allowed to announce away from the community, away from people. I love talking about these things, right? So it's actually painful to not be able to talk about everything we're doing behind the scenes as well. But things have to be legal, and you have to release it at the right time, basically. So I will say this also goes for various programs that we have for whether it's liquidity or people mention like node programs and so on and so forth. Everyone has to remain patient and also keep track of our official Morpheus announcements. I see this in the Telegram channel constantly with these scams related to airdrops which don't actually exist and so on and so forth. Make sure these are the official announcements from the team. Really implore you to not fall for any of these scams. These scammers are quite clever. They're adding a bunch of our Telegram members to a new Telegram group where it looks really official, using our logo and even pictures of our admin and so on and so forth. Don't fall for that stuff. Most definitely do not. Be wary that this stuff might happen. If you're watching this, be careful, and when it comes to, I see over here as well, it mentions other projects out there who are doing great things with tokenomics. We take our tokenomics extremely seriously. Some close community members I think will tell you as well. They've sent us a whole bunch of different, white papers and breakdowns of the tokenomic schemes that projects have put out there, whether they put them live or just talking about them in general. We take those extremely seriously. We want to put those under the smell test. If there's a perfect, sort of setup, we'd love to go with that perfect setup, right? So right now we're going down that path of finding that perfect fragrance based on these different projects that we're, looking at there. There are guinea pigs in the crypto space right now. As you guys know, it is generally a very new, environment that we're playing with when it comes to regulations. So yes, we take our tokenomics extremely, seriously. And I will tell you that we've had some amazing conversations with not only legal teams, but also community members and so on and so forth, who give us their ideas, send us other projects as well, as I mentioned. So feel free to keep on asking and keep on sending suggestions, and we will find the perfect setup most definitely. So a couple questions here about these competitors here. I'll be honest, I don't know much about GrainChain. I'm guessing some sort of traceability system, which I'd have to look deeper into their technology, exactly what they're doing. TradeLens, I see is mentioned here as well. That's an IBM program. I believe this was part of a partnership with Maersk as well. A little bit different visibility around containers. Our platform is completely different. Supply chain is absolutely massive. It's a multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar industry we're talking about, right? So there's such huge players in supply chain, and digitalization has to happen across the board. There's so many manual steps, along the way. So our, positioning when it comes to these technologies is we're middleware. We're not looking to replace everything that IBM's doing, everything that, all these great ERPs are implemented. I mentioned this before as well. The legacy systems that are already in place. So if somebody's running an SAP ERP, or if they're running, an Oracle ERP, using a specific TMS, using a specific, terminal operating system, whatever they're using, we would connect to those systems in place through our middleware, pull in the data, make it actionable, and push ahead, automation through the middleware as well. Why I'm mentioning that is it's completely different to what IBM is trying to do with TradeLens, and completely different to what GrainChain, even though I haven't even looked at their site, I'm sure that a middleware with automation based on pushing and pulling data is not exactly what they're doing. We have these amazing solutions in place. Morpheus Network Black that we released, very recently, is a conglomeration of these amazing solutions. A document handling system that FCL is leveraging right now as well. Whether it's automation of supply chain specifically, increased visibility. As you guys saw with that case study with Hanha and VitalCan, both leveraging our platform, that network effect we have through technology and through contacts as well, really going amazingly well. So thank you for that question. Hopefully I covered all that stuff as well. So tokenomics. Can the team disclose how many tokens they currently hold and how many they have sold within the last year? Great question. The team itself, this is the founding team, have not sold any personal tokens whatsoever for any sort of monetary gain at all. All the tokens that have been sold have been 100% used towards company expenses and growing the business itself, pushing transactions, pushing the use of the utility token, and so on and so forth. Right now the team itself holds about 11 million tokens, and once again, as tokens would be needed for various projects, various partners, pushing ahead company expenses in a certain way, we will most definitely use them. But once again, the amount that's circulating will always remain the same. Those tokens are not locked by any means, but at the same time, as you see, we're not moving them because we have no reason to. So, thank you for that question. Another amazing AMA. Well, you haven't heard it yet, so curious for the questions, looking forward to it. Into Morpheus for a year and a half now. Steady growth, very bullish on the project for the long term within the growing supply chain worldwide. Thank you for that comment. I don't really see a question there. If it's, asking about, being there I'm in for the long haul as well. I've obviously been, CEO of the project for much longer than a year and a half. And I look forward to many years to come with you guys. So thank you for that. I have a question. Will the SDK be available for developers? Yes, it's available right now for developers. We're open to discussing, various modules. Of course, we wouldn't be able to put resources towards some sort of unnecessary use case, but definitely reach out to the team if you want to discuss something specific. If you're a developer, then yeah, why not? Especially if it's a developer working for a company looking to implement a specific module for that company, allowing that company to connect to the platform, take advantage of the other functionality, then yeah, most definitely, let's do it. So thank you for that comment. Let's see here. Let's go for the next questions here. All right, hey Morpheus, love to see another. Lovely to see another AMA coming up. I have two questions. How's the progress with SENASA? I mentioned it a little bit earlier as well. Progress is going extremely well. Once again, I must thank our partners down in Argentina, Polaris Network, Jorge Marcos specifically. As I mentioned, it's becoming quite a serious thing in Argentina for these phytosanitary certificates and the digitalization of these certificates to happen very quickly. You can find that news that there was a huge fine that went out to companies that aren't following that regulation quite yet. So yeah, we're extremely excited to be a part of that digitalization journey for a lot of these companies. And once again, thank you to Polaris Network. I will mention that Jorge Marcos, he's also the CEO of VitalCan, which is the largest national pet food provider in all of Argentina. Very excited that not only is he an amazing partner and established Polaris Network, he's establishing Polaris in other countries in the world as well, but also a client as well. So Jorge, can't thank you enough for for working with us and doing great work for us as well. So. Is Morpheus working alongside other government bodies like SENASA? If yes, how's that going? We're very close to finalizing a couple deals with government bodies in different places around the world. It's a little bit different than our work with SENASA. It's not exactly fetal sanitary certificates. Not saying that we won't be able to do something like that with another country down the line. But yes, we're definitely dealing with some other government bodies as well. Very exciting stuff. I will say it's through partners of ours. So once again, I do think our partners around the world, Supply Chain Precision, Demand Management Solutions, Liz Technologies, Blockchain Guru, of course, John Trask and Blockchain Guru. So thank you so much for all you partners, introducing us to the different government bodies around the world. Have more news for you guys on that in a little bit. Da Silva on Telegram. Dan, is monthly business update possible to keep us informed of the latest ins and outs as much as possible? Da Silva, thank you for the question. Yes, of course. I try to do that with these AMAs. I'll be honest that my time is very tight. I know if people try to make meetings with me, they usually have to do about a week in advance just because my schedule gets filled up very quickly. But yes, let's keep on talking, about these various business updates, solutions that we're implementing as we're growing with MaxiaNet, with VitelCan, with FCL. With FCL, I will tell you, just a little bit of a tidbit as well that we're implementing. Actually proposing in order to implement a new system in a completely new vertical with FCL right now as well, which is very, very exciting. Very confident with that proposal. Reason being is that obviously we've already various systems that we've proposed and been accepted by FCL, so we're already working with them very closely. Our systems are up and running with FCL, and the fact they've already expanded those systems, signed more contracts with us, multi-year contracts, I should say, as well as introduced us to these various verticals within the company as well. We're going to keep on expanding with FCL. We have tons of work to do with them. Tons of work to do with FCL, most definitely. We haven't even gotten into their full visibility system that they're looking for the physical assets that they're moving to all these different locations or across the country. So great work with FCL. I'll tell you guys that maybe people don't realize this, but FCL is one of the 50 largest companies in all of Canada. They deal with a whole bunch of verticals that I mentioned, from oil and gas to lumber, a whole bunch of different stuff they do. Obviously, we're excited about all the different clients and projects and governments that we're working with around the world. But really, if we wanted to focus only on FCL, we'd be quite a successful business just working with them directly. So FCL has been fantastic for us. Can't thank them enough as well. And hopefully that's a little bit of an update on what we're doing with FCL. A little bit of a business update for you, Da Silva. Thank you so much for that question there. Okay. Is Morpheus still on schedule when it comes to $100 million revenue as predicted in 2024? Yeah, this is kind of a play on that earlier question. Most definitely, our OKR goals have stayed the exact same. These are our objective and our key results that we're looking at, right? Once again, this has happened with other companies in the past. I'll point out for an example is Google Chrome. When Google first wanted to become the #1 used, Explorer, that's not what it is. When Google wanted to become the #1 used browser, out there with Google Chrome, they set these very lofty OKR goals. Year one, they did not hit their goals. They did not give up on their goals. They keep the goals the exact same. Not because the numbers were, in alignment with what they were looking at from the start, but more so they knew the base they were building. They knew the base they were building, and they saw in front of them that this base definitely had the potential to keep on growing and hit these goals, the exact goals they wanted to hit. So the $100 million revenue goal, obviously that's a rough estimate that we put out there, I believe about 5 years ago now. The path has not changed. If anything, the partners that we have, the clients that we have, the partners that we have when it comes to other implementation companies, MNSPs around the world, I never expected we'd have such an amazing network of partners, so many people pushing the software right now, so many great contracts that are already signed and growing as we speak. So yes, listen, are we on schedule for 100 million in 2024? I would most definitely say yes, we are. Thank you for that question as well. So next question, what is the output of winning a Gulftainer prize, and how did Morpheus spend their prize money? I will say that anything any money that we bring into the company is used for business expenses. Once again, I did mention that about the tokens as well. We did have one small splurge. Every business team member, business development team member that was involved, sorry to the other team members that weren't involved specifically in that Gulftainer prize, were able to purchase a fine bottle of tequila of their choice. I think we set a price of $200 as the maximum price on that bottle of tequila, because we know some of our team members know tequila extremely well and can find some very expensive bottles. But yes, that is how we spent it. A couple bottles of tequila that was expensed, and the rest obviously on business expenses as well to grow the project. What is that? What is the output output of winning the prize that we've already started a project with Gulftainer, a couple projects with them, right? So implementing our platform with a new multi-billion-dollar client is the final result of winning this prize. Pretty unbelievable. And I do feel that our positioning, even though they had, I believe, 4 winners from the Gulftainer event itself, we're ourselves winning the blockchain category. But the project that we're talking about being, leveraging ourselves as middleware for Gulftainer, connecting to all these different winners as well, the other systems they have, the legacy technology they're already using. Really amazing working with Gulftainer, of course. Their team is extremely attentive. I want to thank specifically from our team, Carl McDermott has been working so closely with the Gulftainer team. So once again, thank you for the entire business development team for the hard work you put into winning this prize, and to Carl McDermott specifically, who actually gave the presentation and has been working on these pilot projects and implementing with Gulftainer as we speak. So, and thank you for the question as well. I'd like to hear from Danny and the Morpheus Network team. I've been development has been better or worse since COVID. Yes. I would say that, COVID has really been this black swan event that everyone talks about. Reason being is that it brought companies to look specifically on where their margins are, where they're making money, where they're losing money. So it's been really great for us. Reason being is that people saw the pain points in their business. Suddenly supply chains were cut. Their supply lines with these tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 suppliers. It wasn't so easy to contact these suppliers anymore. It wasn't so easy to bring in these parts when you have a virus ravaging the world and places are literally physically shut down, congestion, all these different ports. Shipping out your product suddenly wasn't so easy. You can't assemble your product. You're missing vital, critical pieces as well. So yes, in general, all of that is bad for the world of business in general, but it's put a great magnifying glass on company supply chains, and that's been great for Morpheus as well. I do feel that right now companies are focusing on their supply chains, and in the long run, it's going to be great for Morpheus and great for businesses in general that will be more resilient. So thank you for that. How do you evaluate and approve solution providers? Some of them must be gold diggers. Yes, that's a great question, and we do run into this all the time. The companies have to be established in some way. Right now, actually, I will mention that we're dealing with one consultation company that wants to become a Morpheus Network solution provider as well. They're out of the Middle East, working in a couple different countries. They have over 20 people in one country and 10 people in another country. Really amazing. And I'd say that they have great partners already, a great network they've been working with. They have a great history, whether with the consultation firm itself or their past experience with the workers down at the firm. Those are, I'd say, a great trifecta right there. Then we have the technology we can provide them. We provide them these amazing tools in their tool belt so they can expand their implementations with their current clients, be able to offer more tools for future clients as well. So really great question. And yes, it is sort of case by case, I'd say. But we've had some great luck with some amazing, solution providers we run into all around the world, as you know. So thank you for that. If you look back 2018 and the goals and expectations regarding Morpheus Network and where you are today, did you imagine you'd be where you are today 3 years ago, or you're beyond your dreams, expectations are ready? Where do you see Morpheus Network coming in the next 12 months? Listen, I mentioned this before. I think we're well beyond where I had expected us to be at this point. To be honest, I expected us to have, I'd say, more traction with small companies that are looking to keep up with larger companies, right? Looking for simple implementations. I did not expect to have a client with multiple contracts in place, such as Federated Co-op. Once again, Federated Co-op provides food to over 1,500 retail facilities across Canada. Now, these retail facilities themselves, all individual businesses themselves, right? So I would expect something, let's say, like hundreds of small businesses wanting to keep up with the big guys, looking for the new tech, as opposed to companies like FCL signing these contracts with us, or let's say this contract with SENASA and the government in Argentina. I did not expect to have a government contract this soon as well. So listen, it is what it is. I'm extremely excited about the growth and traction we've had with these major clients, these huge whether it's governments or enterprises, whatever it is, and I do expect massive growth over the next 12 months. Reason being is that now we've really refined our solutions. Morpheus Network Black allows us to bring these solutions directly to a client, not have to necessarily start from scratch or start to flex the platform in a certain way to make it work for the clients, but actually have these battle tested solutions in place. And this is will allow us to onboard these clients a lot faster, We know obviously in Argentina with the fetal sanitary certificates, that's going to allow us to onboard these clients for that specifically, but also have these other solutions we can apply to these companies that are onboarded for fetal sanitary certificates. So really exciting stuff. Expect a ton of growth for the next 12 months. You're gonna have a ton of announcements obviously as well. We mentioned obviously that's centralized exchange that we're looking to grow with as well. So any questions about that stuff that I didn't get into, then yeah, most definitely ask some more. Hopefully I covered some good stuff for the next 12 months. So at what con you see the fastest growth for implementation at the moment? That is a great question, and once again, I'm not going to answer this question and not say anything great about our partners all around the world, whether it's in Australia or the UK and so on and so forth. I will say that our fastest traction is in the Americas, North and South America, whether we're talking about in Mexico, Argentina, Canada, the US. We have new partners to announce coming shortly in Chile, working on some new partners in Brazil as well. So South America has really been great for us. Of course, North America, we're talking about MaxiNet and FCL and so on and so forth. So great stuff there, and thank you for that question. So I'd say the Americas. What does your Noam and Dan families think of your bigamy, sharing your time between Morpheus Network, Morpheus Network family and wife and kids? Tell your wife and kids we appreciate their patience and understanding, and send them love for the Morpheus family. I do all the time. I do send them love. Yes, I got to say that myself and Noam, we have the best wives ever. They're super understanding with our time, and they understand how much we care about, not only the project itself and the business, but also the community. They know about the community. There's a ton of great community guys out there that I consider my friends. My wife actually has met a few community members as well. We met we actually were down in Portugal, and we met one community member that joined us there. We had a community member meet us in Toronto. We were at a dinner with another couple, and this community member he came to the restaurant. We sat down and had some amazing conversations as well. And until today, obviously, with both those community members, I consider myself good friends of theirs, and they're friends of mine, and I'm sure we'll be getting together in the future as well. Thinking that we probably would have seen each other by now, again, if it wasn't for COVID and so on and so forth, being trapped in the province of Ontario here, but it is what it is. So we try to be obviously good husbands as well. Noam, he can make his own video about this. He's an amazing father, an amazing husband, and so on and so forth. I know his wife and kids would agree with that. I would say though that when it comes to balancing work life with obviously being a father and a husband, and so on and so forth, I'd say that it's a pretty bad balance right now. I'm not gonna lie, I do spend a ton of time on Morpheus and the project itself. I try to spend as much time as I physically can with my son. I find that it's difficult to be mentally present a lot of the time, especially with Telegram dinging or email coming in or whatever it is. I do try to be mentally present, so I should put my phone down more so than I do. I wake up extremely early every single day. I feel that if I get up early, that's allows me to get ahead on my work day, and then when my son does have free time and I have free time as well, that we can put some time in together. So yes, it's not the easiest task. I don't think it's sustainable for the next, let's say, 20 years or so, but I'm happy to do that for the next bunch of years. Make sure the project's a success. And also do my best, obviously, to be a great father and a husband for my wife as well. So thank you for that question. NFT, some news about sorry, I think this was a question earlier and I forgot to answer that specifically. Yeah, most definitely. Let's talk a little bit more about that NFT announcement. And I feel that it was sort of taken, I guess, from the wrong perspective for some community members that an NFT obviously attached to a physical item being like a collector item is very exciting. And that's something we can do for the community, and I feel that some community members would absolutely love that. So keep an eye for something like that as well. But when it comes to the platform itself, people questioned why we would be talking NFTs and how that benefits supply chains or any sort of client supply chain as well. Well, it does. It most definitely does. So, listen, I'm not the most technical person, but having an NFT, a non-fungible token connected to a physical item, where you can have this NFT, follow that physical item no matter where it goes, transfer the NFT along with that physical item, and then through our platform, through our middleware, running all these different modules, all these different, reliant on each other triggers, whether it's handling points for visibility, whether it's IoT triggers, whether it's geofences or temperature points, critical information for that supply chain, the whole history of the supply chain. And I even mentioned compliance and documentation. So if we're generating, let's say, import-export docs, then certifications behind the product, if it's pharmaceuticals or food or whatever it is, all those all the documents that back the legitimacy of that product itself. If you can attach that to a non-fungible token as well, where you have that information immutably on the blockchain, following around, connected to that physical item as well, where that non-fungible token is transferred along with that physical item, I think there's a great benefit in that. You could always look back to that non-fungible token, look back to the blockchain, pull out all this information, as I mentioned, the certificate information, whether it's compliance, supply chain info, so on and so forth, the history of that product as well, the physical movements of it as well. I think that's very exciting to have a non-fungible token attached to supply chains as well. Love to hear more, creative examples of, where we can use NFTs in the best possible ways. I know some people are just excited about having collector's items with an NFT attached, which is also great too. So we'll work on some great stuff for you for that. Yes, so thank you for the question as well. So next question. Is Co-op still using the Morpheus Network platform? Yes, most definitely they are. They're using it in multiple ways. Federated Co-op, again, they are one of the largest 50 companies in the entire country of Canada. I know people think of, they don't know Canada's, GDP or something like that. Canada has a massive GDP, and the fact that Federated is one of our clients is hugely, hugely flattering. As I mentioned, they supply food to over 1,500 retail facilities. Their certificates that they have that back all those food products are run through our platform itself. Very proud of that. I will say a quick thank you to Ray Garreau. He's a supply chain manager with FCL. He has an amazing vision for FCL and all these different digitalized systems as they move ahead. Got to thank him. All the respect goes to Ray to really pushing ahead all these different technologies that we're trying to implement. And once again, as I mentioned, we're going to be expanding to other verticals. And I would thank Ray as well for thinking of Morpheus specifically to be able to be leveraged in so many different ways across their business. Very, very exciting. Look out for more news about FCL. A few announcements with FCL that we're going to have coming up in the next little bit. So thank you for that as well. Is Morpheus Network still looking for new blockchain integrations? If so, which ones? Yes, most definitely. As I mentioned, as we're able to announce these things, we will announce them, right? So it's not type of thing in an AMA where I'd say, yes, these are the companies here, and then we're going to announce it later on. I can't do that. I will tell you that we're right now discussing two specific integrations, two different blockchain projects. Both of these blockchain projects are in the top 100. I'll let you guys speculate from there. But yes, I'm very excited about those two integrations as well. And there will be more integrations as time goes on. I will say that all these integrations are all based on business need. That is the precedence of having these conversations with these different projects is how we can leverage their technology for our clients, for their clients, for the adoption of their platform, their technology or our platform, so on and so forth. So it all has to be backed by real business. So once again, thank you for that question. Let's continue. It was mentioned once that Ivan Antek will address MRPH in his academy soon. It did not happen. Has that cooperation been canceled? No, it has not been canceled. It is in process. It does take some time to put together educational videos. I'll tell you that myself, I am putting together some of these videos. They're completed. We've had some other great Morpheus team members also completing videos. Some videos are completed by them as well. The entire course is not completed, but it is in process. And yes, most definitely, that partnership has not been canceled. The cooperation has not been canceled. We're very excited about it. It's a really great course. I'm trying to make it as interesting as possible. I find supply chain, absolutely fascinating, and I think it's a great course for you as well. So, hello team. What is the average time Morpheus Network can be implemented up and running to existing supply chain systems? And what is the fastest? Keep up the good work. Yeah, it really depends on the use case. I can talk about various use cases and how long it would take, but it really depends also not only the use case itself, but the company we're implementing with, right? That company implementing for, I should say, that company has to provide us the resources in order to get the proper information in order to put in these systems for them. I will give, I mentioned FCL a few times in this AMA specifically. I will talk about our food certification implementation that we did for them back in 2020. Reason I'm going to be mentioning that one is that because it was done very, very quickly. There's a government mandate for the Safe Food for Canadians Act where all the food on the shelves for FCL and any food supplier that for that matter has to be able to have a system up and running by April of last year. That was pushed back because of COVID. Now they had 45 days. They brought us in the room. They said we have 45 days to have a food certificate system up and running. They had a completely manual system of emails back and forth, working with their suppliers. A supplier would send in an email that have to look at the expiry date on the email, look at the various databases online to make sure the registration numbers on the certificates are valid, so on and so forth. Completely manual system. 45 days later, we were completely up and running with FCL. We mentioned before IBM. IBM is a great company. They can move mountains. They are a mountain themselves. The agility that we were able to show FCL within 45 days, they got that system up and running, is not something that IBM was able to do. I'm not saying that IBM doesn't have amazing solutions in place. We mentioned TradeLens. They have Food Trust is an amazing food certificate system as well. We're just saying that our system a little bit different, that middleware perspective, pushing and pulling data as needed. And once again, very excited that we were able to implement that food search system for FCL and have them up and running in 45 days, a month and a half. Very, very proud of that. So I'd say that was the fastest full implementation we did. So can you please update us on the site announced partnership you have on the front page? This will help to spread the message. It is hard to find it for yourself. Yeah, sure. We have our testimonials on the front page, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. A whole bunch of testimonials on a ribbon that fly by. Also, our latest announcements are on the front page as well. I will make a comment to the team on that. Our latest announcements, you can see us, winning Gulftainer and Morpheus Network Black release and so on and so forth. That should be all on the front page. So I will talk to the team about that, but most definitely, yes, we're looking to update the site. And I will tell you, the next question actually leads me right into that. They mentioned a European marketing agency early in March. Campaign kicking off. How is it coming to fruition? Yes, I'll tell you right now that has started. The back channels for ourselves, working with that European marketing team, and very soon you'll see a whole bunch of content coming out from them. A new site, new roadmap, new branding possibly as well. Stay tuned, guys. So yes, we're not just taking on this amazing European marketing agency without progressing what we've been doing. There's gonna be great progress. You guys are gonna see a lot of results of that very, very soon. So thank you for that. Thank you for not forgetting about that as well. We haven't forgotten. So Dan, what are your thoughts on the current state of the world? That is a great question. Now, once again, as I mentioned, when it comes to COVID and people focusing on their supply chain, really amazing for Morpheus. Able to find a whole bunch of implementations, different systems for visibility, for compliance documentation, right up our alley, obviously. The state of the world itself, I will say, is a little bit concerning. I'm looking at things like the stock market, and only recently we had somewhat of a crash, in the crypto environment as well. But stock market is looking amazing. And it's quite confusing. We're obviously exiting, COVID, and the world is reopening. Commodity prices are higher than ever. We're talking about steel, lumber, international shipping costs have absolutely skyrocketed as well. This hurts globalization like crazy. I don't know if people pay close attention to international shipping, for example. Let's say a container from China, where only a couple of years ago you're looking at $2,000 to $3,000 a container, and now people are paying. When I say people, I mean companies. They're paying upwards of $15,000 per container. That has completely ruined some businesses where they literally cannot turn a profit. It's no longer a business if they can't turn a profit. So once again, we're seeing higher wages across the board as well. We have a ton of government assistance, which was absolutely needed during COVID. People couldn't work, but at the same time, it's harder to get people to come back to work where they're getting, in a sense, free money from the government. So we have to turn that around. There's more restrictions on businesses when it comes to COVID as well, keeping people safe. There's new green initiatives that come out as well. Taxes constantly raising as well. It's just more difficult for business to turn a profit. So that's why companies need to turn to their supply chains, find out where they could, sort of cut their expenses as it is. And we've done a great job with our current clients. And I feel that the current state of the world is concerning. Let's see how it kind of transpires in the next 2-3 years. I love to do these updates on my current sort of thoughts on what's going on in the world. And right now I'm seeing a lot of money being printed, seeing a lot of propping up with that printed money, and that is concerning. So let's see what happens over the next 2 years. And I don't mind doing these sort of updates on my thoughts, or even having other experts in our team sort of give their thoughts on the current state. Let's say every couple months or once a quarter, something like that. So thank you for that. Not trying to scare anybody, obviously, but I do have some concerns. So anyhow, let's keep on moving along here. So I think that's basically a couple people wishing. And guys, that was the last question. So I do appreciate these amazing questions as always. Not sure how long this AMA was. Hopefully you guys were able to stick with me for the entire time. Try to answer as many of these questions as I can, to as much detail as I can as well. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, from our side or from your side as well. And if I did, feel free to email me directly, call me out on it. Say, Dan, you didn't answer my question. Give me enough detail about this. Email me directly at dan@morpheus.network. I think people know it doesn't matter what the email's about. I do try to respond to every single person that gets in touch. And once again, if you have any questions about the project, if you don't want to email me directly, if it's just a general question about the project, hop into our Telegram channel. You won't have a general question about the project if you're a hardcore Morpheus Network Telegram member already. You know about it because the Telegram channel talks about it all the time. They're so informed. They know about the project, so feel free to ask your questions. And once again, everybody, take care of yourself, take care of your family. Thank you for watching. Keep on asking questions. And of course, guys, as always, have a great day.